Listen to this very educational poem. This audio segment will render another important message through it. It's called The History of My Chocolate Milk by Bay Richards. A Black Woman Speaks, written by Bay Richards in 1951. This is a reenactment of the powerful poem that speaks to part of the history of women of color. Hard to believe. But, America is still asking, why don't black women breastfeed? Blame it on the cruel ugliness of the ever-present white supremacy. Black children are 2.4 times more likely to die before their first birthday. And according to the CDC, this could be lowered by as much as 50% with the increase of breastfeeding. To help our cause, go to www.gofundme.com/chocolate milk. We are raising funds to complete, market and release a feature-length documentary film, Breastfeeding a Nation, The History of My Chocolate Milk, exploring the disparaging breastfeeding rates within the black communities, and diving into how our history plays a role in the present statistics. A film will put the faces of real mothers who breastfeed real children in the forefront. With the help of community activists, psychologists, nurses and political figures. African Moon, the director, will attempt to make history of breastfeeding in the black community visible, as well as articulate a few of the barriers that exist today. To give donations, go to www.gofundme.com/chocolate milk. Now listen to this and thank you.
A black woman speaks of white womanhood, of white supremacy, of peace. It is right that I, a woman, black, speak of white womanhood. My fathers, my brothers, my husbands, my sons die for it, because of it. And their blood chilled in electric chairs, stopped by hangman's noose, cooked by lynch mob's fires, spilled by white supremacists' mad desire to kill for profit, gives me that right. I would that I could speak of white womanhood as it will and should be, when it stands tall in full equality. But then, womanhood would be womanhood, void of color and of class, and all necessity of my speaking thus will be past, gladly past. You bore him sons, I bore him sons. No, not willingly. He purchased you, and he raped me. I fought, but you fought neither for yourselves nor for me. Sat trapped in your own superiority, spoke no reproach, consoled your outrage with added diamond brooch. How great a woman's fear who for a stone, a cold, cold stone, would not defend love, honor, and dignity. You were afraid to nurse your young, lest fallen breast offend your master's sight and he should flee to firmer loveliness. So you passed them, your children, on to me. Flesh that was of your flesh and blood that was of your blood drank the sustenance of life for me. And as I gave suckle, I knew that I nursed my own child's enemy. I could have lied, told you that your child was fed until it was dead of hunger. But I couldn't find the heart to kill orphaned innocence. And as it fed, laughed and burped and gurgled with content. And as of color, knew no difference. Yes, in that first moment, I kept your sons and daughters alive. But as they grew strong in blood and bone that was of my milk, you taught them to hate me. Put your decay into their hearts and upon their lips. So that strength that was of myself turned around and spat upon me, despoiled my daughters and killed my sons. You know that I speak true, though this may not be true for you. This is the depravity that they reduced you to. Death for me, and worse than death for you. So what will you do? Will you fight with me? White supremacy is your enemy and mine. So be careful when you talk with me. Remind me not of my own slavery, but rather tell me of your own.
You've just heard another very powerful message delivered for the growth and development of our black community. Get your music or messages promoted by John Henry Media Network. Contact us today at jahu.enterprises@yahoo.com. I say again, that's jahu.enterprises@yahoo.com, and get your music or messages heard by millions for a generous donation. And we say thank you in advance. And keep listening for another episode to start streaming in less than 10 seconds. Thank you.